We're going to do foreskins again?
Foreskins again. We had a question from a man who says that when he's at cocktail parties and he talks about not circumcising his son, people have like a violent reaction and think he's crazy. So he's like, can you please break down the benefits of foreskin?
First of all, it's endowed with many rich nerve endings. It's sort of like the male clitoris.
Really?
And boy, they go in there and they cut that, they snip that end off. And originally, it was to keep men from masturbating.
That was his purpose.
With the Jews aside, with their ritual, blah, blah, blah.
We're talking about American Christians.
And you go into the hospital and it's routine. Mrs. So-and-so, would you like,
Well, they'll just schedule it for you. And you have to remember, it's a $4 billion a year industry.
Oh, say that again.
$4 billion a year on circumcision. That's why it still happens.
$4 billion a year.
Yeah.
Well.
I wonder.
They call it follow the money.
And there's no medical reason for it.
None.
Let's start with that.
None whatsoever.
It's super sexy. You're more likely to have an orgasm with a guy who's uncircumcised.
Remember the time you and I were talking? And we were talking about, there were periods, in my youth and yours and whatever.
We had vaginal orgasms.
And we started talking about it. And lo and behold, we both discovered, upon the further discussion, that the 3 men I had vaginal
and the 2 I did, uncircumcised.
Uncircumcised. They had foreskins. So why is that so much different? Now see, the women have not weighed in because these young girls, they see porn, they only see erect penises, and once a penis is erect, they all look alike. You don't see
the foreskin.
The foreskin.
I love the foreskin. I think it's so sexy.
Well, it's beautiful. No, but more beautiful is the glands that has been covered by a foreskin.
And when you pull it back, it's lubricated. It's wet.
Yes, and it's satin. It has
it's so soft.
And what do they call it? Carated. The dry head of the circumcised penis.
Yeah, it's not lubricated, and they get kind of toughened.
There's a word for it.
Yeah, it toughens the skin because now you have this cover on it.
It's not a callus, but it's moving in that direction.
Yeah.
So, which means sensitivity is lowered. So the friction, this fast friction, is the lack of foreskin.
Exactly. So when a guy is pounding you, and you're like, "That's not doing it for me." That's because they need friction to ejaculate because the foreskin has been taken away.
And the foreskin in place, it's much more of a glide, a gliding
And
movement.
I love that glide.
Oh.
I'll take the glide over the pound. Any day
over the friction, the glide over the friction. Yeah. All for the glide, speak up.
No, it's just beautiful. And then the foreskin does act a little bit like nature's cock ring. It budges up and it can hit your clitoris. Like I like to get on top and grind on a guy's foreskin when it's retracted a little bit. Well, I don't know. I like it.
That may be a fantasy or not. I don't know.
It probably is all in my mind.
Pushing, I think so. But more important is that these young women think that a penis looks better if it's circumcised because they see this.
Because it looks foreign. They've never seen one. That's why.
They haven't had enough experience looking at them.
Yeah.
And for me, there's no comparison. As soon as women weigh in for the benefits of foreskin, I think it'll have an impact. Mm-hmm. And then I also want to say to the men that are circumcised, I had my lover for the last 10 years. He was circumcised, but he had trained himself to do the slow glide using lots and lots of lube. Mm-hmm. So you can, if you're conscious of doing that nice slow glide, even though you're circumcised, use lots of lube, a lot of organic oil, or whatever you're using for contraception. And go slow. And I also used to watch the way he would masturbate, and he'd get on the end of his penis on the head.
So it wasn't a tight grip.
No, he'd do it was a very delicate little touch. And I thought, how smart is that? So you kids who are watching porn and you get that death grip.
Very bad.
It's like,
you're ruining partner sex. Just know that.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to shut off the porn, and that's why you have to use lubricant when you masturbate and relax your grip.
Slow it down. Slow it down.
It's not a race.
No, not actually.
And I kind of like times when an orgasm doesn't come fast.
Say that?
I like it when sometimes my orgasm isn't right there, and I have to work for it, and it takes longer, and there's more of a build-up. It's more satisfying.
Take your time. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm at the age where I can't have a fast orgasm anymore. It's like that I have one at all is wonderful. So Mothers, don't circumcise your baby boys. Please, please get more information. We've got a lot of information on the website, the pros and cons, and there's no medical reason
None.
whatsoever. This is a totally unnecessary procedure. Protect those baby boys.
Yes. Protect those penises.
Yeah.